Good morning, Helldivers! This is your fellow citizen, Tuma Donkey, reporting live from the founding father of Family Values, Super Destroyer. Are you ready to join the fight for managed democracy? Helldivers 2 is a chaotic, exhilarating, and sometimes brutal co-op shooter. If you've just stepped out of your hell pod and are wondering where to even begin, you've come to the right place. In this guide, we'll cover everything a new Helldiver needs to know to survive their first missions and start spreading freedom across the galaxy. At its core, Helldivers 2 is about dropping onto hostile planets, completing objectives, and extracting. You'll be fighting swarms of Terminids, legions of automatons, and mobs of Illuminant. Every mission contributes to the galactic war effort, and everything you do will impact and change the game daily. A few quick key points to highlight. First is that this game shines for co-op play. Of course, you can always run into a match solo, but there are always available players to team up with, and keeping a public lobby guarantees that fellow Helldivers will join in your fight for managed democracy. Secondly, focus on objectives, not always a ton of kills. Objectives are key for every mission you go on, and not necessarily killing every bug, bot, or squid in the game. You'll get more rewards for completing objectives and extracting with samples found on the planet. Lastly, friendly fire is always turned on in the game. Watch your angles, grenades, and stratagems, because just about anything in this game can damage your team. After completing your basic training on Super Earth, you step out of your cryopod and onto your very own Super Destroyer. Your destroyer is your home base in between missions, so let's break down what's important in here. First up in the hangar area, you have the Patriotic Administration Center, or PAC for short. The ship management system is where you can make changes to your destroyer, unlock stratagems, upgrade your ship, and equip some skins. Changing your name is very easy, and there are lots of different combinations to choose from. Simply pick what sounds most democratic to you and apply. The next tab is your stratagem list. Here you can scroll through various items that can be used in-game, from rocket launchers and flamethrowers to mechs, turrets, and orbital barrages. Your stratagems are powerful tools that you bring along in missions to give a boost for yourself and your team. There are a ton of different stratagems to choose from, and you will unlock them by leveling up your Helldiver with XP and gaining in-game currency. The next tab is your ship modules, which allows you to spend samples found on planets to upgrade your ship. They affect stratagems and affects overall play to the game. This works in a tier system, as the first level in each category is cheaper and gets more expensive as you level them up. The last tab is vehicle customization, and you can equip different skins found in the game from war bonds. Now, speaking of currency, let's quickly review what each of those are and how you can obtain all of them. Starting off with the easiest is XP. Experience points are gained by simply playing the game, completing missions, and extracting or not. XP is given at the end of each mission, whether you complete the objectives or die trying. You will need to get XP to unlock different stratagems and attachments for your weapons. Next up is requisition slips. This is the most common currency in the game, identified by the small yellow R box. You gain these by completing objectives, side objectives, and can sometimes find them on planets you are liberating. These slips are used for purchasing upgrades for your guns, unlocking stratagems, and ship modules. You can only hold a max of 50,000 at a time, but don't worry, you will fill up fast on these after a few missions. Moving on to our samples, yes, the coveted samples, which can be found scattered across the map in missions, come in 3 separate sizes and colors. Green for common, orange for rare, and pink for super rare. As stated, these samples will be found just about anywhere during your mission, with commons and rares to be found in bases or near side objectives, and with super rare samples only found at this phallic-shaped rock. Yes, everyone calls this Dick Rock. One thing to note is that you have to extract on the Pelican to gain samples, and yes, samples are shared by the team. So if one teammate is holding all the samples at exfil, you need to be sure he gets in. Otherwise, if he dies and the ship leaves, then no one gets the samples. samples are used only for upgrading ship modules, and as stated before, you will need a lot of them to unlock those higher tier upgrades. Moving on to the next currency are medals. Medals are used for unlocking items found in your war bond. Medals are gained by completing major and minor orders, completing missions, and can sometimes be found during a mission. You can only hold 250 at a time and cannot go over even if completing a personal or major order. So where do you spend these? Well, if you open up your acquisition center at the top, you will see a menu with 3 tabs for War Bonds, Superstore, and Super Credits. You will spend those hard-earned medals here in your War Bonds. Everyone has the Helldivers Mobilized War Bond for free to gain items, and other War Bonds are paid with Super Credits. Inside these War Bonds are skins, emotes, weapons, stratagems, and other various items to unlock with your medals. If you want the premium War Bonds, then you will have to spend Super Credits, which takes us to our last currency in the game. Super Credits are like any paid-for currency in any major game to ever exist. You can buy them for real money under this tab, or you can find them during missions and minor POIs. Spending them on premium War Bonds or items in the Superstore are the only place to spend them. There are many War Bonds to choose from, and the Superstore will have a small selection of armor and weapons from each War Bond, as well as one tab that is on a rotating schedule. Each War Bond has a special theme to it, and there are many to choose from, so we will cover them all in another in-depth video, so be sure to subscribe and follow along. Going back into your ship and moving to this hallway, or the Armory, this is where you can pick and choose your weapons, customize them, and customize your Helldivers armor, skins, emotes, banners, titles, and so on. This is a good place to start at before dropping into a mission, so that you can pick and choose what you will bring to the fight. When cycling through weapons, grenades, and armor, you can see off to the bottom right more info about each item. Text will display things like light and medium armor penetration, sticky and impact for grenades, and information about your armor's passive ability. Helmets and capes have no special effects in-game except for your drip. Gotta be looking fresh while stomping some bugs. Weapon customization saw a huge update this year, and now with most of our weapons, we can unlock attachments by using the guns in-game to gain XP on them, and then buying attachments or weapon patterns with requisition slips. Heading over to the bridge, this is where you can take a peek and see the planet you are at, other Helldivers super destroyers, your Hell pods, and of course the war table. Interacting with the war table, you will be able to pick and choose what missions to go on, as well as their difficulty level. Zooming all the way out, you are able to see by color which sectors are in control of bugs for yellow, bots for red, and squids for purple. When choosing a sector and zooming in, you will see a lot of information on screen, such as the planet's status of liberation percentage, stats for all Helldivers, bullets fired, and etc., major and personal orders on the right, difficulty level on the bottom, and some planets will have planetary effects, which you can toggle on and off to see what those are. Once you find a planet you want to go to, clicking on it will show all available missions outlined in their own colored sections. Using the scanner will show white icons for open player parties on the planet, and if those white icons are giving off a signal ping, that means the player is wanting anyone to join up. When choosing an operation you want to go on, you will see up to 3 missions inside, and if you lower the difficulty, the less missions you will see. Each mission will give medals for completing the main objective, and when hovering over a mission, you can see what the objectives are in orange, and any side objectives that are non-hidden in blue. Once you unlock Super Helldive at level 10, those missions will have mega bases on them, such as a fortress in red for bots, and a mega nest in yellow for bugs. Those are considered side objectives, and completing them will give you additional XP. Unlocking the higher difficulty levels is simple by completing the prior difficulty missions. For example, to unlock level 10, just go beat a level 9 mission. Of course, the higher the difficulty, the harder the enemies will be, as well as the quantity of enemies in the game. But higher difficulty missions will give you more samples to find, more XP, and medals for completing missions. When looking at the galactic map, you can find special effects or enemies on certain planets, as well as the DSS space station. Special enemies, such as predator-strain bugs and incinerator core bots, can pop up from time to time on their respective planets. The DSS, or Democracy Space Station, can travel around to different planets and provide a bonus effect or stratagem to Helldivers while on that planet. You can also toggle into the DSS screen to vote on what planet it should go to and what bonus it should provide next. When you have chosen a mission to go on, simply start it up and you'll be prompted to go to your Hell pod. Upon entering, you will see a pop-up of the map and choose a spot to land. Landing near objectives is very much a possibility, but expect heavy resistance if you land right on them. After that, you can choose your 4 stratagems that you want for the mission, and in case you forgot, there will be a short description of each when selecting. You will also get to bring along a booster, which brings in a unique effect that does affect everyone on the team, and you cannot double up on the same boosters. You can unlock more boosters through the Warbonds. Finally, you can change up your armor and weapons before dropping in last minute if you wish. Once you and your team have all readied up, it's time to crank up the volume and listen to that sweet sounding drop-in music. When dropping onto a planet, you will see some key items on your HUD. Notably, everything on your HUD can be adjusted dynamically to fit your playstyle. You have your player information on the bottom left, showing weapons, grenades, stems, health, and any backpack items you may carry. If you have teammates, they will appear above your info bar and showing their health and stratagems in the game. Going up top, you have the reinforcement count and stratagems in the upper left, and when toggled, will show you everything you brought along, as well as the default SOS beacon, reinforcement, and resupply stratagems. Remember, if you go into a mission alone and want some teammates, throw down that SOS beacon first thing. In the upper middle, you have your compass, which will display ping locations, as well as a question mark if you get close to any minor place of interest. Upper right will show mission objectives, sample count, and time remaining in the mission. Lastly, bottom right will display the minimap, which you can ping to mark locations and objectives, and enemies will display in red when you are close to them. As you traverse the map, you will run into enemy patrols, which can trigger enemy reinforcements, find hidden side objectives like LiDAR stations and SEAF artillery sites, and come across minor POIs. If you find a small encampment, check your map to see if there is a diamond icon on it. That means there are samples or hidden goodies at this location for you to collect. You can also look for yellow flashing beacons around minor POIs to uncover possible super credits, medals, and other items. There are small vaults which you will come across and can simply open them with grenades or anything explosive, and bunkers which will require 2 people to open for lots of yummy loot. Once you have scoured the map for samples and completed your objectives, you can look for the exfil on your minimap or bright blue skybeam and simply hold down the fort while you wait for the shuttle to drop in. Once the Pelican has landed, be sure to get in quick because you will get left behind. There's a quick flyaway scene and then it cuts to your rewards and stats for ending the mission. So, citizen, think you have what it takes to be a super Helldiver? Well, hopefully with these first easy tips and tricks, you will get there in no time. Have fun spreading freedom and managed democracy across the galaxy as you level up, unlock, smash, bash, and create some chaos with your team of fellow Helldivers. So be sure to follow along for more Helldivers 2 content, and I'll see you on the field.